I think I'm live. Hey folks. Hope you're all well out there in Fiddle Jam land. Doing this weekly. I'll play for a minute. Messing about in the key of G, hitting the 5 chord a little bit, hitting the 4 chord a little bit. If you've been watching these things, you are getting hip to these concepts, I hope. The 1-4-5 is everywhere in most music, and it's 90% of all music. So today, I'm thinking about a lot of things, and one of the things I'm thinking about is the outlaw fiddle business that I have, building violins like this one. As many of you have seen before. Pretty cool, sounds great. I don't have it plugged in right now. Got some updating to do in this one. I'm building more, and I've committed, I'm going to be at the ASTA conference coming up in March. Going as a vendor, not just a presenter as I've been before in past years. I'm going as a vendor, going to have a booth, and try and get my tribe, the violin teachers, to know about my products. So wish me luck, hope that's well. I'm trying to finish some instruments every chance I get. So I have enough, at least a half dozen instruments to take and show at the booth. And hopefully people in the know will get to know about them. Maybe we might have some footage for you guys too. We'll post on the Outlaw Fiddle Jam YouTube channel. So speaking of Fiddle Jam, the website, it's an online school, as you may know, and it has a membership fee, a small monthly fee if you want to see all the lessons, called the All Access Pass. There's a library there with a couple hundred lessons at least. And I was looking at the lessons today, and it's like the lessons are all over the place, maybe a little bit too much, I thought. I may water them down eventually in the future to be a little easier to follow, but they're in different, hello, somebody just came on. They're in different categories by technique, by style, by key. They're sorted many different ways. And for some, I realized that might be a little overwhelming because there's so much stuff there. But I did a quick count of what I have, and one of the things I have is jazz lessons. Now, jazz, the main site is not just about jazz, but jazz features improvisation at its core. And there's a good probably 35 or 40 lessons that are jazz tunes. A lot of them are gypsy jazz because I have a lot of experience with gypsy jazz. Some of them are straight ahead, some of them are bossa novas, some are my own originals that you can learn. There's charts on there, and there's lessons on how to jam. Of course, jamming is the cornerstone of the Fiddle Jam Institute, improvising is. And there's also fiddle tunes on there. Fiddle tunes was not my thing at first. About 20 years ago, I got hip to them by going to the Mark O'Connor Fiddle Camp. Kind of got, well, fiddling isn't so bad. The new fiddling is kind of cool because they improvise. It's not just recitation of very old songs. That didn't interest me personally. I want to be able to take that old tune and jam around on it for some, and then come back to it and pass it around, and that's fun to me. Creative. And there's at least 30 or 35 lessons on there with just fiddle tunes. Some of them are Celtic tunes, some of them are jigs and reels, some of them are old time tunes. Some some are the greatest hits of the simple ones for students, you know, Bottle Them Cabbage Down and things like this. I think my Bucket List Fiddle Jam song is on there as well. Bucket List Fiddle Jam is, of course, a course that is in the school store as well. And I'm pretty proud of it. It's for the adult beginner, someone who's never played the violin, always wish they had. This is the course for you. So you play and don't hurt yourself and give it a shot. And within about 1 month, you'll have a good tone, which is the most important thing for an adult, not squeaking and squawking, and playing at least one song and be on your way. Then you can go from there. It's a great course that's sold separately, but I think the song itself is in the library as well. Also the A to Z library is many rock tunes. Now I kind of lump rock and blues together. A lot of the tunes from the blues violin course, another standalone separate course, has about 13 songs that go a deep dive into those songs in the style of, you know, many famous artists, from B.B. King to ZZ Top to Stevie Ray Vaughan, and many things in there. Just about every style of blues I could find, and has tunes in there in the style of, like I said, those famous artists. Not exactly their tune because I'd get sued, but close. Maybe a little too close at times. If I had to redo it, I would have maybe spent more time writing more originals in those styles rather than kind of sort of copying the artist. But I thought that was important for the student. Some of those are in the library as well if you don't buy the course. Although it's a great course, I think. I'm pretty proud of it. There's other blues songs in there, like Fiddle Jam blues from the Fiddle Jam book, of course. Fiddle Jam book is right here. It's for sale as well on the internet out there. Digital version is also for sale. And so there's many rock and blues tunes. I include reggae in the rock end of things. There's Bob Marley's Jammin' on there, a cool version. That's on YouTube, on the channel as well. And there's, you know, 30 or 40 other, you know, technical technique and the etudes. I played a bunch of them from the etudes book. I don't even have a copy of that here. Rock and Blues Fiddle Jam Etudes is also for sale in the store if you're a reader. And a lot of those tunes, a lot of those etudes are in the library as well as many other technical things about sounding fiddly and some bowing exercises, fingering exercises, and different things and technical things about being electrified and those kind of things. They're all in there. So this is all in the Fiddle Jam Institute library. So it's at this point, it's $29.95 a month. That may change in the future, but it's a great wealth of information if you want to deep dive and are starting to jam and want to get out of just the classical mold and explore a bit, or if you've gone to the Bucket List Fiddle Jam course and want to explore more. There's a lot of stuff there, so I highly encourage you to give it a try. You can cancel anytime. There's no long-term commitment or anything. It's just a month-to-month thing. So, and you also can email me directly through the site as well and ask questions and stuff. So, so today, other than that stuff, this little promotion and try and help, we've been working on some of the jamming over changes. So let's go to the key of D. If you've been following this, what I was doing there is using drone strings in the key of D. So that's a D, and usually the drone is its A, is its fifth. D, E, F, G, A. You can do po-tato, po-tato, po, and you'll be officially tatering. And mess around with some of the other notes from the major pentatonic scale. What's that? If you've been watching, it's first note, second note, third note. It kind of skips the fourth note. 5, 6. Skips the seventh. So you mess around with the open strings and those notes. Trust your rhythm, trust your sense, trust your own ideas, and just try and hear ahead what you'd like to play and try to play that the best you can. That's the trick to being great, having a touch of greatness. If you're new to that, don't get tricked up. If you're just if you're bowing on 2 strings but fingering only on 1, it's easy to get confused at first. Just relax and get it to the point where you don't have to think about it too much. Now those notes are D, E, F sharp, A, B, and D. D, E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A, B. What did I say? D, E, F sharp, A, B. So those letter names anywhere in the violin could also be used then. D, E, F sharp, A, B. And below, B, A is down there too. So and if you can do any of those notes and throw in those open string drones, you're golden. So I'm doing on the G string fingering A and B with open D. Now I said E was one of those notes as well, so you can at least get the drone A. Now if you're doing the drone A and you get the B, it's not the greatest, smooth sound. Creates a clank for a second. It's okay, tension release. There's much worse ones. If you're not hip to that, you can do a double drone, D and 4th finger D. You can also do drone A's. 4th finger A on the D string and open A. So with that amount of stuff, you got tons of tricks. Potato, 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 major pentatonic, add notes above the octave, and below. And double drones, usually sliding them in. Now E would be a double drone as well. It's not really the greatest. Let's use it judiciously. There's a whole lot of fiddling stuff there to be had with just a few simple tricks. And if you know it in the key of D, the key of G, and the key of A, you're in the club for most fiddle tunes. How about the key of A? Same thing. Where A, B, C, sharp, D, E is the first 5 notes of the A major scale. So A and E are our juicy drone notes, which happen to be open strings, and major pentatonic on A. Same stuff, moved over 1 string. A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. Now you can't go any higher than that because we're already using the highest string, but you can go lower. A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. That means we got an E and F sharp down here on the D string. Without losing the drones. Once we get down to G string, the D is not the best drone, so you have to do single notes on the G string. Pick up the drones once you hit the D string. Double drone. So, and chords change within a song, and you can change scales and change your tricks, change your bag of tricks to do your best stuff. Let's try, let's explore the G scale a bit first here. We've done stuff in other weeks. Same approach. G and D will be your drone strings. G major pentatonic will be your main go-to scale. In G it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B, E, D. It's kind of low. You can't do drone Gs, of course, unless you have a 5 string to get that 4th finger G on the C string. So that's gone, that trick, but you can get double Ds. And octaves, of course, G and G. And likely you can go on to the A string. So what would we say? G, A, B, D, E. G, A, B, D, E. G, A, B, D, E. Anywhere in the violin. But let's just go one string. G, A, B, D, E. G, A with the D drone, B. E is the 6th of G. When you get up in the high string, we lose the drones. There you got a whole suitcase of tricks there. I'll call them out. D. Try to play along. Anything you want. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm playing. Try stuff like this. So if you have that bag of tricks in those 3 keys, you're on your way to playing backups to most fiddle tunes, or taking a ride, or taking the hot seat, as they call it sometimes, doing a solo. If you're in a Cajun band, this is really useful, because sometimes in a Cajun Zydeco group, the band leader might just point at you and say, take it, and the band stops. But people are still dancing. So what do? It's a high pressure situation in a way. You don't have to do anything fancy, but you have to keep a rhythm going, you know. Just keep messing around with those same scale notes, but keep the rhythm going, keep a groove going. It kind of takes some practice to get used to that sort of thing, for sure. It takes some practice and then letting it go, forgetting it all, just jamming, not being a dictator, taking dictation from the angels at that point, the groove angels. So even though songs and styles like Cajun Zydeco might seem deceptively simple, to do them well takes some good experience to be able to jam and be able to stand up and do it well, and have people not trip and fall while you're playing and while they're dancing, and make them enjoy and bring it to some kind of peak. You know, dynamically you can work on things too during a solo. So when you're doing that, don't just kind of noodle around in one little spot. Do it around and make it go somewhere, and then hand it back to the band and have some eye contact. So it might start simple. Do something with it, make it go somewhere, make it do something dynamically, make it do something a little fancier, go a little higher in the register, a little lower in the register. So you got all these compositional tricks to draw upon when you're improvising and you're alone. It's a big deal when you're in a Cajun band. It might be just a washboard in you, and you got to carry the band and change chords and change scales. Now, if it's just a washboard and it's kind of free realm too. You can just stay with one chord if you want. Just try, but it's less interesting. So that's something you can use all those bags of tricks to sound fiddly, to sound like you're more than one instrument playing, to sound like you really know what you're doing, because then you actually do know what you're doing if you follow these things. So again, to recap real fast, because I'm almost out of time, in the key of D, G, and A, if you're going to try and sound more fiddly and you want to be able to back up folks in that style, in the Cajun, Zydeco, bluegrass, swan fiddle as I call it, whatever you want to, or even folk or blues. So the roots and the fifths are the main drone notes. Little bow strumming like Tracy Silverman teaches, little rhythm or get some rhythm going on. It's like strumming on a guitar. Just keep moving. If you only did that with a little poke here and there, that's okay. And then we add major pentatonic notes. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just move around. And when the song changes chords, you change scales. Say a G. Back to D. A. Same treatment. D. And double drones. So all these things are there. Sliding, rhythm, keep it flowing, put some accents in, take it somewhere dynamically if you have a feature spot. Start a little quieter and go a little louder. All these things will work for you, I tell you, and you can be playing professionally. This is the stuff. This is the bag of tricks that everybody needs to know. All right? More to come. I'll see you next week. Thank you.